Now, there are people who have misconception about the secret mantra Vajrayana teachings. People think that secret mantra teaching has nothing to do with Vinaya, the teachings on the Buddhist ethics, nothing to do with the sutras, Abhidharmas, or the teachings on wisdom. There are people who think that Vajrayana is all about visualizing deities, chanting mantras, and in Vajrayana, any conduct is fine, eating meat, drinking alcohol, and so forth. There are also people who think that in Vajrayana, all one needs to do is obey one's Lama. This shows that they don't understand even a tiny fraction of what Circuit Mantrayana actually means. So what does Circuit Mantra Vajrayana mean? When one embarks on the Circuit Mantra Vajrayana path, first we need to abandon all harmful actions of body, speech, and mind. Everything the Vinaya ethics teach us. Then we perfect all virtuous qualities. Everything taught in the sutras and Abhidharmas about wisdom, compassion, and skillful conduct. On top of this firm foundations, when our practice is embraced by the union of method and wisdom, Tapshi Zungjuk, as taught in the secret Mantrayana, then it becomes the ultimate Vinaya, the ultimate Sutrayana, and the ultimate Abhidharma. Therefore, the secret Mantrayana is the very essence, the quintessence of the Buddha's teachings. It's where all the Buddha's teachings culminate and are perfected. If you don't understand this and treat Vajrayana as something separate, isolated from the Buddha's teachings, then we are actually pushing the Vajrayana out of the Buddha's teachings, creating a false division, which is not acceptable. Now, to give a contemporary example that might help one understand Kalachakra. These days, all around the world, people understand that protecting the natural environment is crucial. And we think of nature, the color green comes to our mind. We use green to represent nature, the environment. In a similar way, we need to understand our own nature, our true nature. Right now, we see the way we see our body, speech, and mind, the way things appear to us is confused and deluded. We see ourselves as ordinary, limited, solid, and separate. But the actual nature of our body, speech, and mind is the body, speech, and mind of the Kalachakra deity itself. That is our true nature. Now, why is Kalachakra appearing in blue? The blue color is a symbol. It represents the unchanging nature of reality. The unchanging nature of reality. For example, it's like how the sky appears blue. Even though its true nature is unchanging and colorless. So then, the nature of the outer world, the physical environment, the nature of the inner world, sentient beings, and the nature of what we call Buddha nature, all of these are Kalachakra, the wheel of time. And because of that, we talk about these three aspects, outer, inner, and other Kalachakra, as the divine bodies of the deities, both male and female. Now, as mentioned earlier, that ultimately all deity practices are equal. There is no good or bad, but conventionally speaking, Kalachakra is particularly vast in its scope. Vast in its scope, referring not just about inner meditation practices. It refers to the outer physical world, the inner world of sentient beings, Mount Meru, the 4 continents, sun and moon, the planets and stars, the years and months, the dates, and so on. Even though all of these appearances, in essence, are empty, they manifest in the form of divine mandalas. So that's what is being taught here in the Kalachakra. Now, at this point, some of you might wonder, is there a contradiction between what the Buddhist teachings describe and what we cannot observe with scientific instruments? Now, regarding this question, although I myself am not an expert in science, when I examine it through my own experience and reflection, I find something quite remarkable. They are extremely subtle material particles that actually exist but remain hidden from our ordinary perception, things we simply cannot see directly with our own eyes. Today, through scientific instruments, we can observe these particles just as the enlightened arhats of ancient times could perceive with their pure vision. For example, if you look at a cup of water, in the ancient time, the arhats who had clairvoyant wisdom minds could see through the cup of water and find millions of beings, sentient beings, invisible sentient beings dwelling in the water. In the same manner, through the scientific observation, the science can tell us that there are countless and countless of organisms in a cup of water. So this is a parallel. This is something amazing. Now, when it comes to our body and mind, scientists can observe the physical body, but they cannot directly observe the mind. What they can see in the body is the neutral activity. The neutral activity in the brain that correlates with positive or negative mental states and the feelings that arise from them. In ordinary worldly language, we call the body material and the mind immaterial. But in Buddhist philosophical terminology, we cannot simply categorize mind as immaterial. Rather, we distinguish between what is visible to the eye, which we call having form, and what is invisible to the eye, which we call formless. It is similar to how we might say that humans have physical form, while gods and spirits are formless beings. To give an example to illustrate this, although Thimphu Deshenpu is the residential abbot of Gengen Chakpa Melen, along with his retinue of 100,000 god spirits known as Chens, we cannot see them with our ordinary eyes. And even with all our modern scientific instruments and technology, we can barely detect anything there. The same is true of the kingdom of Shambhala. Now, does this mean these places and beings are truly formless, that they have no form whatsoever? No, that's not quite right. Rather, the time has not yet come, and those of us without the necessary merits and karmic connection, we cannot perceive them. They are concealed or hidden by the divine blessings and protection. So things that arise from the common karma shared by sentient beings, they can appear and be perceived in a common, shared way by everyone. The reason we perceive everything from the highest peak of existence down to the lowest hell realm, is that the causes for all these appearances exist completely within our own body, from the crown of our head down to the soles of our feet. Through the power of interdependent origination, these appear outwardly as external phenomena. Now, a point to be noted, the perceptions that arise in what we call the transcendental meditation cannot be perceived through ordinary samadhi meditation. And the perceptions that arise in the ordinary samadhi meditation cannot be perceived by an untrained ordinary mind, untrained mundane mind. So if scientists cannot even observe the mundane ordinary mind, how could they possibly observe the perceptions of the samadhi meditation, let alone transcendental meditation? We human beings possess only one type of vision, our physical, fragile eyes. But beyond this limited sight, there exist 5 superior types of vision. The flesh, the shaichen or the flesh eye vision, the haichen or the divine eye vision, sharabkichen or the wisdom vision, sangikichen or the Buddha vision, and finally Shugichen or the Dharma vision. What these 5 exalted types of vision can perceive is truly inconceivable and beyond ordinary comprehension. For this reason, we simply cannot conclude that something does not exist merely because scientists have not observed it. This is mainly to dispel the doubt and misconception of people saying that the cosmic structures and configurations described in the Kalachakra teachings haven't been observed by the scientists, so these teachings must not be true. So in order to dispel this doubt and misconception, I hereby describe this entire cosmological teachings